All right, it's now time to begin the randomization process for our next fight.
It looks like our first contender is Kitty Polendina from Atlas. And her opponent will be Kira Nico from Beacon.
Salutations, Pira Nikos. It's an honor to finally meet you. This is going to be so much fun.
Mercury, what are you doing? You were hurt. Why? What's going on? Fine. If you're not going to tell me...
Fighters, are you ready? Three, two, one. Begin!
Showtime. Let's just keep this between us friends.
My word! What a tremendous display by Miss Polendina!
Broadcast, what are you doing? Kill the feed!
Something's wrong. We don't have control over the cameras. We can't even set up the broadcast.
What? How is that possible?
This is not a tragedy. This was not an accident. This is what happens when you hand over your trust, your safety, your children, to men who claim to be our guardians, but are, in reality, nothing more than men. Our academy's headmasters wield more power than most armies, and one was audacious enough to control both. They cling to this power in the name of peace, and yet, what do we have here? One nation's attempt at a synthetic army, mercilessly torn apart by another's star pupil. What need would Atlas have for a soldier disguised as an innocent little girl? I don't think the Grimm can tell the difference. And what, I ask you, is Osmond teaching his students? First a dismemberment, now this? Huntsmen and huntresses should carry themselves with honor and mercy, yet I have witnessed neither. Perhaps Osmond felt as though defeating Atlas in the tournament would help people forget his colossal failure to protect Vale when the Grimm invaded its streets. Or perhaps this was his message to the tyrannical dictator that has occupied an unsuspecting kingdom with armed forces. Honestly, I haven't the slightest clue as to who is right and who is wrong. But I know that the existence of peace is fragile, and the leaders of our kingdoms conduct their business with iron gloves. As someone who hails from Mistral, I can assure you, the situation there is equally undesirable. Our kingdoms are at the brink of war, yet we, the citizens, are left in the dark. So I ask you, when the first shots are fired, who do you think you can trust?
The feeds are all jammed. We can't get a message out.
Will somebody tell me what in the world is happening?
Alert! Incoming Grimm attack. Threat level 9. Please seek shelter in a calm and orderly manner.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, there is no need for panic.
Nevermore!
How did he get past the kingdom's defenses?
It wasn't alone.
Oz, get to the city. But now!
The girl, I can explain.
You brought your army to my kingdom, James. Use it.
Damn it! This is Blue 4. Blues 2 and 3, fall into defensive position.
Roger. Blue 3, in position.
Blue 2, what's your status?
Blue 2, come in! Someone answer me, damn it!
Well, it's about time. Oh, it is good to be back.
Bring them to their knees.
Deep in the forests of Remnant, beside a great and mighty river, stood the small, fragile home of a cold, frail man. A lone wizard. Hidden from the dangers and distractions of the world, the wizard seldom had visitors. But on this day, as he peered out his window, his gaze fell upon a young maiden. Calmly she sat beneath his tree, in a state of absolute tranquility. When the wizard demanded an explanation, the maiden simply replied, "My name is Winter. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sisters." With that, she closed her eyes and sat in silence. The wizard told himself the girl was a fool, but the longer she sat, the more he wished to share in the serenity the young maiden enjoyed. In time, he grew tired and decided to close his eyes as well, thinking on this strange predicament. Upon opening his eyes, the wizard was befuddled to find that a second maiden had appeared beneath his tree, cheerful and spry, with a basket of fruit and flowers. When he asked for an explanation, the girl simply replied, "My name is Spring. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sisters." To show her gratitude for his reluctant hospitality, the girl retrieved a handful of seeds from her basket and planted them in the wizard's garden. The old hermit could hardly believe his eyes as the maiden turned what was once a mere pile of dirt and manure into a beautiful garden from which life would surely blossom. It's likely he would have gazed for hours, were it not for the unfamiliar laughter he heard from beneath his tree. A young woman with a warm smile now stood beside the two maidens. The wizard begged her to introduce herself, to which she happily responded, "My name is Summer. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sister." Of course, thought the wizard. But another chirp of laughter left the old man perplexed. What in the world was so funny? As it turned out, it was him. The new arrival found the wizard's insistence on staying indoors so very amusing. Why choose to view the world through a small window when the door leading out to it was right at his side? It was a compelling argument, and after only a moment of brief hesitation, the wizard left his home and stepped outside. The warmth of the sun brought with it a surge of energy and life, and soon the wizard wasn't feeling much like himself anymore. He was feeling much better. As the day drew to a close, the maidens and the wizard all settled down and prepared a feast. Winter set the table. Spring supplied the crops. Summer prepped the meal, and the wizard was the happiest he'd been in ages. But in all the excitement, he nearly failed to notice the delicate woman that now stood beneath his tree. He smiled and beckoned her to join them, asking only for her name. "My name is Fall," she replied softly. "I am on a journey and am here to meet my sisters. Who are you?" "Me?" the wizard wondered. "Well, I am but an old hermit. I have lived in these woods alone for centuries, and I'm afraid my story is not very interesting, as I have no one to love and nothing to my name." The eldest sister looked up at all that surrounded them. "But sir, do you not see? You have so much." It was true. With their help, it was now clear to see that the wizard had everything he could ever need. He was grateful, but a question lingered in his mind. "Why me?" he asked. "Why did the four of you choose to open my eyes, to share with me your gifts? Why am I so special?" The four sisters looked to one another, perplexed. Finally, the eldest spoke. I beg your pardon, sir, but we did not do these things for you because you were special. We do what we can for everyone, because we are able." The old wizard was at a loss. Never in his years had he come across such kindness. It was in that moment that he knew what should be done. The wizard summoned his magic, every ounce he could muster, and bestowed it upon the sisters. He smiled. "Take this gift and know now that you are able to do so much more." Now, armed with the elements, the very powers of nature, and the unimaginable magic of the wizard, the four maidens, winter, spring, summer, and fall, promised to carry onward with their journey, using their gifts to aid others, just as they had aided him. One by one, the sisters left, but before they did, they made one final promise. They promised to return each and every year to visit their dear friend.